Hello, gentlemen. Today we're going to be covering all of the news that's been dropping about EA College Football 25, and there is a lot to cover. Now, there is some really good news, and there's also some bad news, but, that's to be expected. Now, just a quick heads up before I get into the breakdown. I'm going to be doing giveaways this summer, so if you're interested in winning a free copy of EA College Football 25, all you have to do is join my Discord. It's very easy. Just go to the description or the comment section of this video and click on that Discord link. That'll take you to my server, and then my giveaways are going to be posted in there. So yeah, just join my Discord and then be on the lookout for those giveaways in the coming weeks. Okay, so let's get into it. So the main reason all of this news is kind of dropping at once is because EA actually invited a bunch of content creators to Orlando to play the game early. Now, they haven't really talked about gameplay too much. There's been some general impressions like the game just feels a lot faster than Madden, which, some people say that all the time about college football, how it's faster than the NFL. The players aren't actually faster than the NFL because obviously the NFL is like all of the top athletes. But I think the reason that it feels that way is because the top end guys are NFL talent, and then the guys, towards the bottom just aren't. So you kind of feel like a discrepancy there. So that's probably why everybody is saying it feels faster. So that is actually authentic. Now, gameplay details are actually going to be released tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to be posting a video about gameplay tomorrow. But then the other thing that dropped yesterday was a New York Times article that talked about the different game modes in College Football 25. So let's talk about that article and dive into some of the things that were mentioned. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Dynasty. So the article says that you're going to be able to go 30 years deep into the Dynasty just like you were in previous titles. And then you will also be able to have 32 user-controlled teams in both online and offline Dynasties. Now, the big downer here is that Dynasty mode is not going to be crossplay. So for the first year, that's not going to be a thing, which in my opinion, that kind of misses the mark a little bit. It might be just a technical thing, but I just feel like this has been in development for so long and they have the infrastructure in place for Madden and it's 2024. I'm just kind of surprised that they're not going to have a crossplay ready for this mode. Next up, we have custom conferences. So what it's basically saying here is that they're going to allow quite a bit of freedom in regards to your conferences and the teams within them. So if you want to, for instance, change the rules within the conference or create custom protected opponents, you can do that. So an example that they provide here is that if you want the SEC to go 9 conference games each season, with the conference championship game being played at the top ranked team's home stadium rather than at a neutral site, you can do that. Custom schedules are also back, but it does come with a caveat. It's not fully custom because you can't really do anything about your conference games. They're still going to be locked in place. But the reasons that they provide are pretty legitimate. The main reason is that they want to provide an authentic experience that's kind of one-to-one with how it is in real life. Now, there's quite a bit more info regarding Dynasty in the article, but to avoid this video reaching 30 minutes and I still have other things to talk about, I'm going to post screenshots from that article in my Discord server, and you guys can just check those out for yourselves. Now, let's briefly talk about Road to Glory because it's one of the biggest complaints that I saw yesterday, and it's the fact that you are no longer going to be starting in high school, you're going to be starting in college, which in my opinion is a pretty big letdown. I don't really understand how they didn't have time to implement that. They had plenty of time to do it, but they just didn't. So that probably means that you're going to have to pick a team because obviously you can't get recruited if the starting point isn't in high school. Now, the other details that I saw regarding Road to Glory is that it's only going to have 5 positions to start. Like you can only do quarterback, wide receiver, running back, linebacker, and cornerback. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true, but I've seen a couple people say that. And then the last bit of info I saw regarding Road to Glory is that it's going to be 10 to 20 hours of gameplay, which in my opinion is a little bit underwhelming, but apparently it is somewhat dynamic and it's going to have good replay value, but we'll see about that. The next thing I want to talk about is actually going to be gameplay related, and it's about their ability system. So it's very different from Madden. They've actually revamped this quite a bit, and I like it. It's fresh, it's different than Madden, and in my opinion, in Madden, X factors are absolute trash, and they have done away with those. They've scrapped them, at least for college football. They'll probably be back for Madden 25, but we'll see about that. But I'm going to post this on the screen, and we're just going to go ahead and read through it. There are no X factors in college football 25 like there are in Madden, but each player will have 5 physical abilities and 3 mental abilities that you can build up to get situational boosts. They are archetype limited, which means you can't max everything out, and to keep it true to the college game, They are not guarantees to help you out, unlike Madden X Factors. That means there's a chance your big play receiver won't make that catch in traffic in a big moment, even if he has that physical ability. The mental abilities are interesting and important because of the aforementioned home field advantage system. Having a quarterback that can handle the road atmosphere will be critical, and it's going to make players think twice about thrusting a freshman into the starting role early because they have some physical attributes that you like. Confidence and composure will make a difference in how well a player performs. Coaches will also have abilities which can calm their team down on the road and give the team situational boosts as well. So like I said, I'm a big fan of this. I'm glad they didn't just copy paste from Madden and keep the same exact system. They created an identity for this game and decided how they want to incorporate abilities into the game. And they did it in a fresh way. Like X Factors in Madden right now are a complete shit show. MUT is absolutely ridiculous and out of hand. I refuse to play it right now. I refuse to play it late in the year because it's honestly a joke. Like when you can just have so many different abilities on your team. This isn't really what that's talking about. I'm kind of getting off on a tangent. But yeah, I'm glad that they're doing a new system for this. There is one thing I want to mention from this section that is going to be somewhat polarizing to the player base. And it's the fact that abilities are not guaranteed to work. They have introduced more of a random element to it. Now you could argue that in Madden, that's the case sometimes. Like X Factors don't light up all the time. Abilities don't light up all the time. But for the most part, in competitive, you kind of know what you're getting from your abilities. If you read the last sentence of this section, that means there's a chance your big play receiver won't make that catch in traffic in a big moment, even if he has that physical ability. So for those of you who love playing sim and you expect kind of the realism aspect for, random things to happen, this is music to your ears. This is going to be great. But for those of you who are competitive and maybe even like if they have a comp scene, this is like really bad news because you never want random elements to be introduced into the game. You want it to be completely skill based, which, some of you might argue that it is skill based still, but the fact is it isn't. So again, I think it's a good decision for college football. If they did something like this in Madden, that would be very problematic competitively. Next, we're going to talk about exporting draft classes as well as exporting your player from Road to Glory. Now, the first thing with draft classes, it's really the fact that you just can't do it. Like you cannot export draft classes, and it really just comes down to a licensing issue. Like obviously players in college are not part of the NFLPA yet, so they're just trying to avoid an issue there. Like it's mentioned in the article, it's really not that big of a deal. It's kind of a small price to pay to have real players again and really have an up-to-date college football game. So, you can complain about it if you want, that's your right, but I do think that this is something that is necessary and it's not too big of a deal. But as for the good news, you can export your player from Road to Glory to Madden and spend up to 20 years with your Road to Glory player instead of just 4. So that's kind of a dub. I like how you can at least export your Road to Glory player. Anyways, that's all I'm going to cover from the article today. If you guys want to see more info regarding this game, I'm going to post screenshots from the article into my Discord. So just click on the description or my comment section, click on the link, and then join my Discord. And like I said, I'm going to be doing giveaways, free copy of EA College Football 25, and that's going to be in my Discord as well. So be on the lookout for that. The last thing I want to mention is that EA is going to be doing an official gameplay deep dive tomorrow, which is May 31st at 11 a.m. Eastern. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be breaking it down shortly after that. Anyways, that's going to be it for the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.